Welcome back to Champion Your Life with me, Leighanne Champion, the podcast where we break down, think through, and process our lives together. Today we're going to be talking about anxiety and fear. Yes, I know, very, very light topics, but all joking aside, so many amazing souls are experiencing these emotions right now and are suffering. We all experience fear and anxiety, and these two emotions are like first cousins, and experiencing them together is just really part of the human condition. Sometimes we feel more of it due to what is going on in our personal lives and in this ever-changing world in which we live. And there's been such a myriad of challenges triggering fear and anxiety these days, and sometimes we can't even name exactly what we're feeling. When I coach my clients, they often come to me thinking that they're really angry or frustrated. But when we dig deeper, it's often fear, uncertainty, and anxiety. And fear and anxiety can manifest in so many ways and can show up as being, aggressive, blaming, trying to control all your people, and even shutting down and hiding. So I'd like you to really just think about your own life for a moment. Are you hiding? Or are you trying to control others due to your fear and anxiety? I know it seems counterintuitive, but when we let our fears and worries remain hidden and locked up, we inadvertently empower those negative emotions to reign over our day-to-day. Ironically, the American ideal of being quiet or low-key about this will only create more suffering internally. And here's the thing. When we take the time to uncover our fears and delve deeper into our current life situations, we can make really concrete steps at diminishing anxiety's reign in our life. These are provable truths, and I'm going to go over a whole bunch of strategies around befriending fear and anxiety. Trust me, these tools change the game for those who listen and decide to take action. So strategy number 1 is awareness and acknowledgement. And the first step is always awareness. And awareness and acknowledgement of why the fear and anxiety are here in the first place. It's important to process these emotions really compassionately. As we go into this, I don't want you ever to beat yourself up. I just want you to acknowledge that they're there. That's it, really. That's step 1. And remember, no bullying allowed. Many well-meaning people in our lives will say, hey, what's going on with you? Lighten up, you're fine. Get a hold of yourself. It's really not a big deal. Come on. And what's really crazy is we often do this to ourselves. We can't control what other people say, but we must listen to ourselves and treat ourselves with the same compassion that we would give a dear friend. I mean, look, even if your fear is totally irrational, I want you to hear yourself out. Once we process our fear and anxiety and bring it into the light, we can use that energy in a way that will better serve us. You know what we're going to do? We're going to give that nervous, anxious energy a job. I also want you to remember it's the mind that creates the fear, not our circumstances. The mind, oh my goodness, it's ridiculously powerful. Truly, our thoughts can wreak havoc if we fall asleep at the wheel. So I want you to begin to pay close attention to what's going on in your mind so that you can take a look at the thoughts that are causing your fear and anxiety. One way to do this is to just sit down and say, wow, I'm really anxious right now. What's going on for you, Leighanne? Now, I will admit that I'm scared at those moments and I just own it. This practice of awareness and self-compassion acknowledges that being scared, fearful, or full of anxiety is just part of the full human experience. It's also important to note that anxiety-fueled times in our lives have some really important information for us if we're willing to look at it. Strategy 2, I want you to just sit with your emotions. Okay, now that we've named it, we're aware of it, and we've acknowledged it, we're going to sit with those emotions. I want you to learn how to breathe into it and allow it to literally vibrate in your body. Now, this might bring on tears, trembling, faster breathing, or a racing mind. For everyone, it's a little bit different. And I know you're probably thinking right now, oh, really? I have to sit with my fear and anxiety? Here's why. It's important because facing our fears is powerful. There is just tremendous relief in just the acknowledgement of fear. And denying and resisting our emotions only extends our misery. And that is exactly what so many people do. But instead, I want you to literally go into the fear. Welcome the anxiety, if you will, and just allow it to be there. Remind yourself that you're just experiencing an emotion. And emotions, if you think about it, they're very transient, right? They come and they go. But by sitting with them, you are allowing them to run their course naturally, right? Rather than suppressing or avoiding them. Now, to help guide this process, try these steps. Number 1, just find a safe space, right? Just choose a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. Number 2, set a timer. Give yourself a set amount of time, such as 10, 15 minutes, to just fully experience and allow the emotion. Number 3, focus on your breathing. I want you to take slow, deep breaths to help just center yourself. Notice how your body feels with each breath. And if you have a preferred breathwork practice, for instance, my son loves Wim Hof, this can greatly help this situation as well. Number 4, I want you just to observe, again, without judgment. I want you to pay attention to the sensations in your body and the thoughts in your mind. Just observe them without trying to change them or judge them. And number 5, self-compassion. Offer yourself kindness and understanding. Remember, it's okay to feel this way, and these feelings are just part of being human. And again, they are just trying to tell us some very valuable information. Strategy 3, I want you to identify your 3 main fears. So once you've opened yourself up to your fear and anxiety, I want you to ask yourself, what are the 3 main thoughts that are scaring you? Really sit down, take a breath, and then write them out. It's really powerful to take it from our thoughts and put it on paper, and that just actually helps us gain clarity. So I suggest having a notebook nearby. But by identifying and examining your main fears, you just gain this deeper understanding of your anxiety, and you start to address it more effectively. This process helps transform vague, overwhelming feelings into concrete thoughts that you can work through and manage. Strategy number 4, I want you to separate thoughts from circumstances. So here I want you to learn to distinguish between the circumstances in your life and your thoughts about them. Often, oh my goodness, we spend so much of our waking hours fearing uncontrollable events such as, well, the weather these days. Let's just take hurricanes because they're happening in real time. Yes, there are the actual hurricanes, And then there are our thoughts about the hurricanes, right? Two separate things entirely. Can you see this distinction? But understanding this concept can truly be transformative because, yes, a hurricane may be approaching, but what thoughts have you turned it into a mental category 5 hurricane when it's really just supposed to be a 2? Human beings, I think, are the greatest storytellers on the planet, right? Legends, myths, parables have helped our societies codify laws and ethics, but it's important to note that this inner narratives have driven paupers to become princes, but also princes to become paupers. So when we tend to exaggerate and expand these internal narratives, our external realities suffer. I mean, just believing that a Category 5 hurricane is coming in is enough to really make it your reality and ruin your day, right? The awareness of separating the circumstances, the hurricane, from your thoughts about it, I'm telling you, it can provide immense relief. Understanding this one single strategy is where we begin to master what I refer to as our healthy mind management. And strategy 5, letting go of what I love to refer to as what-if thoughts. Going off of strategy 4, I want you to think about where you are using, shall I say, your creative imagination to invent these false realities, the Category 5, if you will. So are you fixated on scenarios that are unlikely to occur, but consume a significant portion of your mental energy? For example, is there something you're imagining happening in your future that actually hasn't happened and most likely won't happen, but it has taken up a large amount of your brain power envisioning it? Well, this feels like common sense. I know, of course, no one wants to waste time, our most precious commodity, yet without a doubt, we are all guilty of wasting at least, 10% of our lives doing just this? And those are preposterous numbers if you really think about it. So in order to really get yourself in the habit of not doing this, you need to scare yourself with how much time you've already wasted. A good way to practice this is to pick 3 of the most challenging situations you've encountered in the last, year or so, and use the following questions to prompt some reflection. Number 1, on average, how many minutes a day did you entertain these thoughts? Take a guess as to how many days you have been stuck on this idea or concept. Do the math. 30 minutes a day for 2 weeks equals 6 hours of your life that's gone. Number 2, ask yourself, did any of the hypotheticals or expectations happen anywhere close to how you actually expected them to go? Did constantly ruminating on these thoughts really do anything productive for you? And after the fact, have you once figured out that your estimation of the situation or person was actually very wrong? In other words, did you realize that your brain tricked you into believing opinions that were based on your own lively imagination, if you will? In the end, these what-ifs provide 2 tangible outcomes as far as I see it: loss of time and very misplaced beliefs. And ironically, this really feeds this circle of anxiety more. The worrying you thought was helping you solve the what-ifs ended up creating far more problems than you actually started out with. Can you see this? The strategy is simple. Really, just begin to catch them and kick them to the curb. Anytime you notice a thought like this, pay attention to whether it's based on reality or your very vivid imagination. And when it's made up, literally laugh it away. Call it out. Call it out on its falseness and grin at your own ability to invent narratives. This is the training that brings you true, healthy mind management, which is invaluable to you in the long run. And finally, strategy 6, practice peace and being present. Now, this final strategy will help you turn your chattering mind off. Practicing being present in the moment with positive thoughts like, what a beautiful day. The sun is shining. Oh my gosh, I'm able to sit in the backyard. There's my precious dog. All is well. I am healthy. I'm actually quite grateful. Thank you, God, for this moment in time. Thank you for the air that I breathe. I am strong. I am capable. Being present disrupts the unnecessary what-ifs because your mind stops spinning and you are truly in the present moment. Not a single person who's stuck in an anxious spiral is present. They are in a different time zone, right? They're in a different situation, in a different reality. Really, so the fastest way to interrupt this is to literally force yourself to recognize the moment around you. You know, it's interesting. Anxiety makes us believe in the moment that we are the ultimate victims of the universe and that we are experiencing something so much worse than anyone else. Is that really true? But the reality is our lives are so much more blessed than we end up giving ourselves credit for. So when you're really stuck in those throes of worries, try these steps. I want you to just close your eyes and start taking deep breaths. Again, if you have a breathwork practice, use it. But the breath is ultimately the symbol of the present, and it's important to treat it as such. Then I want you to just go through every single part of your body, and in your mind, I want you to be grateful for it. Your toes, for example, allow you to stand. Your heel gives you support, right? Your ankle lets you turn around. Your shin gives you protection. Your stomach, well, it's your second brain and it gives you nourishment. Your eyes help you to see. Your tongue lets you taste. And pretty quickly, can you see what's happening? You genuinely think about the miracle that takes place every single moment for you to exist. And you can see with clear eyes the truth of the situation. Once you've finished this list, move from your body to the gifts you've received in your life. Your faith, your family, your friends, your passions, your careers, your pets, whatever comes up. If you do this right, there's no way anxiety will want to hang around because you will fill yourself up with your own love and your own appreciation that you will be able to call anxiety out in that moment in all its falseness, right? Anxiety is never truthful, and it's never present nor appreciative. This, my friends, is a practice for gratitude that actually works. When I am in the midst of anxiety, I can cure it almost immediately by walking through those very steps. So important. In closing, so many of my clients express a desire to wait until their fear and anxiety subside before they pursue their dreams. However, uncertainty and fear and anxiety are inevitable aspects of life. We each have a choice to retreat, hide, avoid, or confront our fears, manage our emotions, and go after our dreams. Don't let anxiety control you. Learn to befriend it. If you find yourself needing support in the journey, don't hesitate. Reach out for some coaching. I am so passionate about helping individuals learn effective, healthy mind management techniques, empowering them to thrive. My friends, we only have this one precious life. Let's embrace it fully and live it to its fullest. You've been listening to Champion Your Life. For more information, please check out my website, LeighanneChampionCoaching.com, or simply type in Champion Your Life. Leave me a message. And if you want a copy of my strategies, I'd be happy to send them to you. Godspeed.